Hello everyone. I was trying to think of the one thing that affects people's lives more than anything else, and after giving it some thought, I've concluded that it's expectations. More specifically, the difference between what we expect to happen and what really happens, or reality. We'll call this the expectation gap. There's a quote I found that states this simply: "The biggest problem in life is the image in our heads of how it should be." I believe this affects how someone feels, which there could be an argument for how someone feels affects all other things in their life, but that can be a discussion for another time. And just fair warning, expect and its related terms will be said many times throughout this video. Expectation versus reality, the expectation gap. It would appear that expectations are involved in most, if not all, parts of our lives. When things happen as expected or better than expected, we tend to be happy or pleasantly surprised. When things do not happen as expected or they happen unexpectedly worse, sometimes our whole world is flipped upside down. And if our own expectations for ourselves weren't enough, we have our expectations for others and others' expectations of us that we also have to deal with. There are many examples of expectations that people have and the negative feelings that arise when they are not met. Here's a few of them. When we're younger, we may expect to get praise from our parents for doing something good, and when that doesn't happen, we feel dejected. If we have siblings, we may expect our parents to treat all their children the same, but get frustrated when they don't. We may expect to ace a test that we studied so hard for, but feel terrible when we only get a B or a C. We expect people to think we're attractive, but feel insecure when certain people get way more attention than us. When we're walking behind someone going through a door, we may expect them to hold the door open for us, but when they don't, we get irritated. Or if we hold the door open for someone, we expect them to say thank you, and when they don't, we get bothered. While driving, we expect no one to cut us off, but when they do, rage starts to build within us. When we get someone a gift, we expect them to be enthusiastic, but feel sad when they aren't as pleased as we would like them to be. When we tell a secret to a friend in confidence, we expect them not to tell anyone, but when we find out that other people know, we feel betrayed. When we are in a romantic relationship, we expect our significant other to be faithful, but we end up heartbroken when they cheat. We expect everyone to treat each person kindly, respectfully, and equally, but get angry when someone is not treated in such ways. We expect no one to murder, steal, rape, lie, judge, bully, think of themselves as superior or others as inferior, have different opinions than us, or support something or someone we find detestable. Yet we feel shocked, in disbelief, and all sorts of negative emotions when those things take place. There are obviously a lot more examples, but I can't list every single one. And one can make the point that I only listed negative examples of when expectations weren't met, so that isn't fair on my part. But earlier I stated that when things happen as expected or better than expected, we tend to be happy or pleasantly surprised. So a couple of quotes I like that express my beliefs are: "Happiness is there when expectations meet reality. The secret of happiness is low expectations." If everyone was happy and had no problems, then I wouldn't be bringing this issue up. I think far too many of us set unrealistic or too high of expectations for ourselves and others, and that constantly leads to disappointment and frustration. This is where the expectation gap comes into play. Let's say we expect things on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being extremely low and 10 being extremely high. How big the gap is between the bar of what we expect and reality will determine how happy we become from a situation or how unhappy. If we always expect things at the 7 or 10 level, but reality happens between 4 and 6, we will always be unhappy with the situation. If we expect things at a 1 to 3 level and reality happens between 4 to 6, we will always be happy. I figure it's much easier and effective to change our expectations as opposed to changing reality. I'd say what we expect is completely in our control, where reality is quite a bit more difficult to control. And these are just some thoughts I've had and some beliefs that I hold. And I'm not saying I'm right, but this seems to make sense to me. And I'm not here to tell anyone what to do or how they should think. You can feel free to agree or disagree. I'm open to hearing different points of view. There are a few thought-provoking questions that come to mind, and I would like input from the viewers if you're interested in commenting though. Is it better to have low expectations about everything? If we are unhappy, would lowering our expectations help change that for the better? How do we go about setting low expectations or lowering the ones we already have? Are there times that having high expectations is more beneficial? Are there times that we should raise our expectations? What causes us to have such high expectations in the first place? Are there situations we should focus on changing reality to fit our expectations? Is there anything we should expect, like common sense or common decency, and why? I thank you for tuning in to Mo's Forum. Feel free to dislike the video, subscribe, share, and comment. I'll be looking forward to what you all have to say. There are many more topics I have lined up to discuss and will be putting out videos regularly. There's an introduction video that explains the purpose of this channel, so if you want to check it out, there should be a link on the screen or in the description. So let's continue to grow and improve and grow wiser each day. And until next time, take care.